Hey guys, it's me, Sharmise, aka Professor Mo, and I'm back with another lesson from our 30-part series. This is part 2. Today we're talking about finding your way before you even talk, before you even begin your speech. I think it's really important to figure out your why. Oftentimes, students are so anxious about a topic that they've maybe been assigned or tasked with speaking about when you really just have an opportunity to critically think about the why. What do you value most about this topic? What do you resonate most with about this topic? What's your perspective on this topic? And I think once you narrow those things down, you then have your standpoint and you can begin to develop your topics and prepare your speech essentially. So that's a really important thing to do, knowing your why. Why are you standing in front of the audience to speak about this topic? It can't just be to talk and get it over with, because then you will lose your way while you're speaking. If you don't have a clear stance or clear ideas, oftentimes you will get lost in the sauce. You will get lost and go off on multiple tangents, and in doing so, you've lost the audience. They don't know what you're talking about. They don't know where you're going with the information that you're sharing. So it's super important to figure out your why. I think especially as it relates to persuasive speeches, but also in the informative speeches. I'm trying to keep everything in 5 minutes, but I do want to share. I used to do like impromptu speeches, and I assigned my student fruit. And he was like, I don't have anything to say about fruit. If you anchor in your why, you will figure out exactly what you want to share. He didn't like fruit. Okay, well, you don't like fruit. Then you have something to go on. It's very much that simple. Use an opportunity to critically think about and dissect a topic so you can figure out your way in. I think I had another example, but I forgot. So for the sake of time, that was one of my favorite examples because I was so upset because I was like, you really can't think of one thing to say about fruit? And he didn't. And I kind of guided him through it, and we figured it out, and I pulled it out of him, which was fun. And it was a good exercise for critical thinking, but in knowing exactly how you feel about a topic, your speaking points will come to you naturally, and then you can execute each one and support those ideas. Okay, so then your why becomes the anchor of your speech because you can always go back to that. And it anchors like your introduction and your conclusion. Your why is how everything is gonna flow. So if you have a speech about a stance of yes or no, you have a clear yes, you have a clear no, and then you can always go back to that. And if you have a clear thought or idea about every topic, the passion will come there. Your conviction will come there, and you'll be able to really execute your topic as best as possible. I have students who say, well, I don't like this topic. Okay, well, let that fuel you. Another example, I had one student for the introduction speeches. He did not have any family traditions, and the goal was for you to share one family tradition to talk about. He's like, I don't have any family traditions. I said, great, perfect, that's your topic. And he was able to talk about how his lack of family tradition shaped him as a person. And I thought that that was so cool and that was so interesting. And that's really all you have to do. Critically think about your topic and figure out your vantage point. And that will guide you and anchor you in everything that you're going to say. The last thing that I want to talk about is the opportunity to inspire, teach, or shift perspective. If you carefully craft your speech, everything that you share is really good information, and it's sound information, and it's hopefully researched information. And in developing your why, people should be able to connect with that, whether they agree or disagree, because you are so matter of fact about the information that you're sharing, because you are so clear in the information that you are sharing. Ears are open. So if you go into a speech, be clear and be concise about whatever you want to share, because the first 20, 30 seconds of your speech, the audience is kind of picking you apart. They're testing your credibility, and your credibility comes with confidence, and you have to be confident about the information that you're sharing. And that confidence is going to come from anchoring your speech and your perspective. What do you value? What do you resonate with, etc. So we talked about finding your why before every speech. We talked about clarity, anchoring, and all the opportunities that you have as you do that speech. I will see you guys next time.